Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are indeed still a thing. Can I get a wee audio check in the chat? And while I'm doing that, I will do, there's only a couple of people in, so we'll do the hellos. Linda Hunter has been out celebrating with the Dawn for her birthday. They may or may not drop in a while for the whole Australia Day thing. Regs is knocking about. Quite important. He's got no electricity, so whenever we get to the house, keep him be aware. Regs show may or may not be available due to the weather. There's Rillin. What about you, chum? Glad to have you here. Aunt Wally from radio. The wonderful Emma G. Evening. Bass is in, and Emma's telling me the audio's a proper strong one. And I really should have stared at this fucking link and stuff, shouldn't I? Yes, I should, but I didn't. Because my being organised in January has went not brilliant. Anyway, with no further ado, I'll introduce my guest and try to explain this madness. Mr. Packer, what about you, chum?
Hello. How are you?
Hello. All good. How's yourself?
I'm all good.
How did you manage with the storms and stuff? Did they get as far as your direction?
It was windy, but that was all. It wasn't nothing, no biggie. I suggested at the nursing home that we do kite flying in the afternoon, but it didn't go down very well. That was about the extent of it.
I'll Boss will explain to you about Regs's electric momentarily. Right. Yeah, well, down where I live, it wasn't too bad. There's a couple of historically important piles of rubbish have been disturbed, but other than that, it hasn't been bad. Although up where Emma is, Emma was out of electricity. Her whole wee town was out of belief for over a day, and the time where Rags is, it's still out, and no sign of that coming back online. To be fair, Northern Ireland Electric, our system is old and creaking at the best of times. And then whenever the wind comes and knocks a couple of things down, it all gets fucking mad. So, Bass, to answer your question, yeah, our whole grid is fucked in a lot of places. We need to find a machine that turns slots into virgins and apply it to the whole electric system, which I can't see happening. But it's all very geographically dependent because, as I say, down where I am wasn't bad. There's one traffic light over, but it looks like it was hit by a car, not a strong gust of wind. But other than that, so you weren't bad at all, Packer.
No, like I say, it was windy, but that was all. My boy had a school trip up north, and it got cancelled, which he was upset about because he had to go to lessons instead.
Yeah, that's always that's never a good one. Yeah,
no. But no, everything. I didn't even locally. I didn't even hear about any trees getting blown over or anything. Like, and a storm in winter where a chimney gets blown over or a tree gets blown over is nothing unusual, is it? We didn't used to name it.
No. Well, what they've done is there's a reason for all of this. Round about 5, maybe 10 years ago, they downgraded what it meant for anything to be a storm, so that they can then document all these storms, and then whenever people look back from at it in 10 to 15 years' time, they can go, well, the weather must have been really bad because we had storms on this date, this date, this date. In this 10-year period, we had X amount of storms. The previous 10-year period, they had Y, and it doubled, so it was obviously getting much worse. So they're creating their own documentation to prove out a thesis that has no evidence to it whatsoever. I have the same shitty weather that I had whenever I was a child.
Yeah.
And all the shorts and t-shirts that I bought because we were going to have roasty warm weathers are still unworn. No, I think in the last 2 years I've had days where I could have went out and been comfortable in shorts once, maybe twice. So there we go. Mr. Dave Waffle, what about you, chum?
George Tetley was a weatherman, a weatherman, a weatherman. John Tetley was a weatherman, and so was Michael Fish. Oi. Sorry. Hello, mate. How are you?
All good. All good. How did you do with the wind and the...
It's been all right. Woke up this morning, boom, nothing. I was there. It was all windy last night. I was like, ooh, nothing. Woke up this morning, blue sky. Yeah. Cold today, really cold, but yeah, just absolutely nothing. Yeah. So I don't know.
Right. Well, now we've got to the point where I need to try to explain what tonight's stream is because I don't fucking know. Right.
What is that? My sort of stream? Come on.
Yeah. Oh fuck! You're in exactly the right place because we have. Look, I started off trying to be all organized and stuff, and generally speaking, 26th of January, the end of January, Dawn and Linda sometimes drop in, and I also invited Courage is Secure, who's Australian, on to get some information about Australia Day from the perspective down under, and also what's going on down there, all that sort of stuff. And I think there's been a bit of confusion with the time between Australia time and GMT time because she's got the link and all, but she hasn't appeared. But she did respond to the email earlier today and was all up for it. So I think it's just a bit of confusion.
Because aren't they in bed now, aren't they? Usually. I know they're just getting up, aren't they? Normally just getting up.
Oh, early.
Yeah. Gwen, because I'm thinking of Gwen P. She comes in. I think she's on the same time.
Yeah. If you're like a cockerel or some shit like that, you're getting up. You know, it's not the time of morning for normal people getting up. It's that time of day.
5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Yeah. The birds start squawking.
Drag yourself out of bed and come on. Hello, morning.
Yeah. Oh, that kookaburra bird starts
up at 5:30.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Now, 5:30. It's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, tell you what we'll do. We'll wing the housekeeping as best we can. So tomorrow at 7, electricity permitting, Rags, I would say, will be on with Jack London with a guest. This is all totally down to Northern Ireland Electric and whether or not they restore power.
Real bad over there, is it there? No, because Emma said about it. Sorry to cut you off. God, I'm fucking so rude. Sorry.
Sorry. It's a mixture of two things. It has been a bit windy, but our electricity system is fucking falling apart. It's creaking and cronking. It needed.
I feel like I'm making you repeat yourself. I apologise.
We spent 40 years putting. We spent 40 years rebuilding stuff that had just got blown up and therefore didn't have money to put into the electricity and the water.
Right.
And
And it's taking the battering.
Yeah, everything else took a back seat, and then whenever we actually got things a bit, yeah, it was definitely more than a bit windy. Here, I'm going to come on to that. Here's the other thing. So, our electric system and our water system isn't great to start with. Then it gets windy. Then the other thing is, this storm in a lot of places was a fucking proper storm. Like if you 10 years ago you'd have said, fuck, that was bad. But we've had 4 or 5 other ones this year so far, or the end of last, that had been nothing. So therefore, whenever it is actually windy, when there's a weather alert, you're taken a bit by surprise because you're expecting it to be like the last one that was nothing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cram roof about this, and we were quite shocked with the level of wind and stuff.
116 miles an hour or something stupid like that, wasn't it? Like strong, wasn't it?
I'm curious as to where they measured that.
I don't know. Matey said down the pub. Matey down the pub said it was 100.
Yeah. There's a part of the Mourne Mountains called Windy Gap, because it's a wind tunnel carved by erosion between here and Cock Mountain. Right. And any day of the week, you could probably go down there and measure 80 mile an hour winds.
Right. So yeah.
Right. You know it. And by the way, these fuckers that do all these reports, they know about the places like this. So if they have a storm going on and they want to get a good wind recording,
I'll get down there and do it.
Yeah, they go to a place that's already windy.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking let's get a good head start in that bastard. And there's places like that right across the British Isles.
Yeah.
You know,
116 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That story last year about the hottest temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, it's an airfield not far from where I live, and the thing is on the runway with jet planes going past it.
Yeah,
3 at a time.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that having it's on, like, you know, the biggest bit of tarmac for miles, bright black tarmac.
Those temperatures all used to have to be taken at a height of 6 foot, and they changed the regulations and they put them all to ground level.
Right. Yeah.
Eurofighters or whatever just next to
them. Yeah. It won't affect the temperature at all. Not a pick.
No.
Crazy. Sorry. Anyway, I cut you off, didn't I? I'm sorry, and I just did it again.
Right.
And I just did it again. Good. Sorry.
Work away. It's all good. Let's see. Right. So, yes, that's rags. Electricity permitting. Rags will be on tomorrow night. What else? Robyn Curry's is a cure. Who's not here tonight. Does quite a few streams every week and gets a shout out every week. You'll still find her on Facebook and YouTube and all those other places. You'll find her link in the description. Hopefully she will turn up at some stage during the night, but it is very fucking early. There's probably just been a hiccup. The other one, he's here tonight, Mr. Dave Waffle, who had over 700 ducks in the ducking race.
It's a big one this week, wasn't it? It was a big one this week, mate. It was, yeah. And I'm very thankful for everyone getting involved. Thank you very much. And I'm going to do a birthday stream next Sunday.
Yeah,
it's my birthday week tomorrow. And anybody that comes in, you don't have to get the ducks or win them or anything. I'm just going to put your name on the spinning wheel, and so I'll give a speaker away that night to somebody. Because you're all legends, and somebody probably got a Benton, probably won it, or somebody that won it. Little Wing will win it again. Oh, Little Wing! Woo.
And if there's any justice, I will get it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and whoever. But thank you, and thanks for always shouting me out, 42, mate. Because I know I'm a little bit compared to you guys. I'm a bit wacky and that, so I do appreciate it.
Mate,
I do appreciate it.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. Your show's what our people need.
What, a weird hangout with a guy that shouts a lot?
Yeah.
Hey, fuck off.
Otherwise, we start to think we're the crazy ones.
Right.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Match off your level of crazy against me. That's all right. That's all right.
what you got to understand, what everybody needs to understand is, see, if you do nothing, only politics and activism all day, every day, you will turn into a fucking asshole. I know that for a fact, because for a small period of time, I turned into a fucking asshole and was having conversations about male abortive rights in situations where I never should have been doing it, because I had just got into that fucking mode where I was nothing only men's rights activism, and it just went on and it. Blah.
You turned something on in me, you git. Do you hear me yesterday?
Yes, like, but here's the thing. That's not what we need to do. What we need to do is have our normal public conversations the way we have, and inject a little bit of politics into it. Just bring your Englishness, bring your Ulsterness, bring your Britishness with you, with everything else, but don't make it the fucking sole focus, because that's not what we're like. No. And the other thing that I love about your show, like, fuck, this is a really classic English trait. So whenever you're going to gather about and do something, you create a game activity that is fun for everybody participate in and not high stakes, and that's what you do while you're there. What you've done is a fucking epitome of that, and I absolutely love it.
Well, I appreciate that, mate, and thank you for always giving me a shout out. I appreciate it.
Dawn, do you want me to telegram you the link? Or are you still too half asleep?
She's, I'm drinking coffee, leave me alone. Bless her. It's too early. Is it Australia Day today for them, or is it because it's in the future?
That's what
in the past.
Well, that's what we're not exactly sure of. But here's what really says. Nah, I've just sent Dawn the link.
Linda's here too.
And Linda's here. Yeah, the broken cover.
Looking for Linda. Linda found
I got a question for you two ladies down there. Is it Australia Day just starting, or was that yesterday? Because we're a little bit confused with the times and all that madness, and we've dropped down to like fucking 9 people in here. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Oh, let me share. I can share you out. Let me share you
please
out. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I was.
Here's the other thing. I forgot to share the stream out because we'd normally put it into the Facebook, and I fucking never got on yet. Done
live now. Although my channel, I never get any. I don't. If I share that out, I might get one person that thumbs it up.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean. And I'm like, you know, it's just ridiculous. Not, you know, shadow banned. Oh, that nice because of what I used to talk about, I think. And then they just don't get shared out ever. You know, it works better than me, but you know, fucking drives me mad. It does.
Occupation Day.
No, it's
today, Sunday, 26th of January. Occupation Day. I can tell you what. I can tell you all about Australia Day because I do have. You see us.
When you do that, right? I'm going to mute my microphone. Because I don't trust myself to not butt in or something. So.
Right, no, it's all right. See, does this need? We'll make that just a little larger. Zoom that in. Australia Day 26th, honouring the establishment of the first permanent European settlement on the continent of Australia. On January 26th, 1788, Arthur Phillip, who had sailed into what is now known as Sydney Cove, with a shipload full of convicts, hoisted the British flag at the site. In the early 1800s, the date called Foundation Day was celebrated by politicians and businessmen of New South Wales with private dinners. It then began to be called Anniversary Day, and in 1836, the first anniversary Regatta, still held as the Australia Day Regatta, and the oldest such sailing race in the world was run in Sydney Harbour. In 1838, on the 50th anniversary of the settlement, official public celebrations were held for the first time. So it took these people 50 years to get the first official celebrations. There were centenary celebrations throughout the continent in 1888, and in 1938, on the 150th anniversary, the day was proclaimed an official holiday, and in January 1980, and 1988, January 26th became a national public holiday in an effort to end the practice. And in an effort to end the practice in some areas of celebrating the day on the closest Monday, agreement was reached in 1994 that the holiday would be observed on the actual date. We've got interesting stuff here. Real Vincent saying special K's on them. What about you, Sean?
Sunday dinner.
Sunday dinner. Hold on. Oh no, it's not. I thought I had somebody else on. I thought Carly should arrive then, or possibly Dawn, but no. So it took them quite a while to get this celebration day up and running and recognised, and it still faces pushback.
Yeah.
From unsavoury characters. Like, who would have thunk it?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought that it takes a bit of effort to get this fucking thing going, and keeping with something else was started by individuals, wasn't a government thing. And what I think is very important about our cultural celebrations going forward is they can't be ran, managed, or funded by the government, because if the government funds them, the government can turn them off and on. And what we've seen is they don't like fireworks anymore. They're turning those off. They're changing the drones. They don't like bonfires. They're getting those replaced with small beacons that don't do the fucking job. And it seems to be only one ethnic group's sorry, Donna's talking to someone on the phone. We are on standby having a coffee, so they will be in shortly. The government are very selective about whose celebrations they decide to downgrade and whose they do not, and it's always ours. So it seems to me the only way to keep control of that is to run and manage our own celebrations.
Yeah. Not these nasty back to ooh. Isn't it?
Let's see. What else have we got? While we're waiting, looks like Linda and Dawn are going to be coming in. Since it's the end of the month stream, and we do like a bit of madness. Oh yes, I do. I've got a little video clip for you that I found on my. It's on my. Do I have it? Oh, I know what the no. Not there.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I know we'll do this. We'll do the magic coffee table video because it's Australian. Have you seen this one, Packer?
I've got one.
Yes. Here we go. Since we do generally play videos that take the piss out of feminists and stuff in this show, it seems only fair that we'll have a little bit of balance and redress. Here we go. on mute. Check us out. Oh, Dawn's coming in. What about you?
Linda, don't ever have Linda Hunter come to your house.
Did she make you? Did she make you drink too much falling down water?
She'd gotten so drunk. I'm not kidding you, and she wouldn't shut up. She just went on and on and on, and then she kept putting all my favourite songs on, and she had me dancing around the place. And I'll tell you, just don't ever have her to your house.
It sounds like you've had a ball.
Well, it don't feel like it.
Yes, but now you're suffering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Master Ben, I don't know what was going on with him, but he ended up getting really, really silly. And he spilt wine. Well, we thought he'd weed in the bedroom, but he spilt his bottle of water because he was going to bed. And yeah, and it's all Hunter's fault. Your fault, Hunter.
Linda, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Oh, I think she might be trying. What? No. Go on. Tell them what you did. In the background of yours. Tell them what you did. I didn't do it. It was Dawn's playlist.
It wasn't me.
And Dawn did that all night. Don't listen to her. Am I getting rattled at my? Can you hear? Can you hear, Linda?
Yes. She's trying to blame you, Dawn. And we
She's
all
on coffee. I'm on a delay, so I'll sound like a celebrity. You are a celebrity. Oh, no, you're not. You're not coming here anymore. Yeah, no, we did. We had a really, really good time. And I'll tell you, I reckon in what? I got to Australia in 1990, and I reckon this is my first Australia Day book, because it's my birthday today, you know that, don't you?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And it's the first Australia Day I've been here since 1990, and there's no fucking sunshine. And I'm really not happy. And they're trying to stop Australia Day on my birthday. And, like, I get a flyover every year of, 4 or 5 old airplanes. They fly over my house for me on my birthday. They're trying to stop that. And there used to be fireworks at night on Australia Day. Now you don't get fireworks anymore. They've stopped that. What's that C word again? C tower in the chat.
See you next Tuesday.
Can't understand normal thinking.
That's the one.
See you in the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
I like that one.
We've actually got car stickers that say that, bumper stickers.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's like see you in the that literally says the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, bloody Aussies. So go on, carry on talking about Australia Day, and I'll just listen and I'll chip in if I can think of anything.
For you is I have a bit of excellent Australian art and culture to produce. I've got it all lined up. Let me know what you have. Let me know what you all think about this. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of Australian art and culture.
Remember.
What? I just wish you'd take some initiative and cook your own dinner for once. I've been at work too, you know, and now I get to come home and pack the dishwasher and then unpack the dishwasher and cook dinner and put the washing on. And you know what? I can't continue to live like this because it's not me.
Hey, relax. It's going to be all right.
I've seen it.
Here, I'll just show you.
Okay, I've been doing this since you moved in.
See this basket thing? I don't know how it happens, if it's the house or what, but any dirty clothes you put in this basket, somehow the next day they're just clean
folded and in a perfect pile on your bed. But it just keeps happening.
That's why I didn't tell you. I didn't want to jinx it.
You are insane.
Try it. You'll see.
Unless it's only chosen me. See, I don't know.
I can't do this.
No. There's other things too.
Plates, cutlery, pizza boxes, dirty tissues, anything you leave on this coffee table just vanishes overnight. I mean, sometimes I'll see how far I can push this thing and I'll just leave shit everywhere. And then sure enough, the next day, it's all gone. It's just vanished. It's magic. No, she wouldn't have left me. This is what I think happened. I heard her get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something. She must have fallen onto the magic coffee table and just vanished.
Are you insane?
No, he's not insane. I've got the same coffee table at home.
There we go.
See, that was fun. I love that.
This is why I love Australia.
I like Australia. Is it called the Big Les Show? Oh, I love the Big Les Show. Have you seen the Big Les Show? I'm sure it's called Big Les, isn't it? Fuck you, cunt. Is it called Big Les? Have you never seen the Big Les Show? Oh,
Baz, I don't. Oh fuck! I can't put a link in at the minute, but if you look up Magic Coffee Table on YouTube, it'll come to it. Or Magic Table Cleans Itself is the way to get that. What for you ladies from down under, is that a fair representation of Australia's best?
Big
Sorry, I was trying to. Linda Hunt, I tell you, she does not stop talking. Now she's complaining because she doesn't have Telegram, and she can't talk, and she wants to come on and talk, and she thinks she'll mean 42 because you're not putting the link in.
I was looking for Linda. I was.
Wait,
Is it your birthday today,
Yeah.
Dawn? Is it? It's your birthday today. Is it?
Yeah, it's my birthday today. Yeah, I'm a big
Can I
girl
sing
today.
happy birthday? Can I?
Yeah,
Linda-
fuck yeah.
Okay. Happy
Linda.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dawn. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Hey.
God, you're so fucking annoying, Dave. I tell you. Anyway, but thank you so much, my darling. That was beautiful.
Happy
Not-
birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, and all that stuff about Australian men, just don't believe it, right? Do not believe it. It's a load of rubbish. We've got our blokes under the thumb down under, don't we, Linda?
What's that?
We've got our blokes under the thumb down under.
Oh, they actually really do.
Sorry.
Walking into Australia is like walking into a rule book. Currently.
It is. I was talking to Linda about that last night. It's like when I first got here in 1990, and it was a Sunday morning. No, it was a Saturday morning, and we were picked up from the airport. We were driving through the city, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where the fuck is everyone? Is it a holiday or something? You know, Saturday morning. The shops everywhere. Shops are closed. I'm like, has there been a bomb warning or something? And I was just like, yeah, it is. It's like you walk into a big marble hall and you can hear your footsteps. It's the strangest place. It's not like that anymore, though. It's getting a lot busier now. Even though we're sort of out in the sticks a little bit, so we've got a bit of peace. Linda, will you shut up? She's still freaking going on and on. God, Santa. She's just talking away to her phone. I don't know. Oh, God, I told you, you're not coming here anymore. Oh, God. And anyway,
That's
making
loud.
me dance till bloody 4:30 in the frickin' morning. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so no, it's an amazing place, Australia. It's still pretty
Hello?
good, but
Am I there?
you can tell the roads are getting busier. Blah blah blah
Alright.
blah blah. But yeah, no, I
You
still love
can't
it here,
hear me.
and the
What's
people
going
are
on?
lovely. You can't knock us, that's for sure. Yeah, apart from that hunter.
See?
All right, I'll shut up. I'll shut up
should've-
now.
Like
Oh, what? Oh God, I'm
am I
going on
there?
mute.
What? See, I'm on a delay. It's making me stupid. I don't know what to do. Anyway, hello. I'm here. I clicked the link. It worked. Am I crackling?
Yes. You
I'm
are a
going
little
away
bit
from
crackly. It sounds
yeah.
like you're in.
Hearing a bloody voice.
She's getting away from me because I keep trying to talk to her in real time and talk to you in like you're so far behind. Even on a live link, you're like it delayed. So how are you all? Happy Australia Day. Happy Dawn's birthday.
We're all doing good, and we're very glad to have you here.
Good.
So, Linda, now that you've got an opportunity to defend yourself, who was it made sure that the drink kept flowing and the dancing was going on the stupid o'clock last night? Was it you or Dawn?
Ben was like a waiter.
Oh,
Dawn
right.
was already half cut when I got here, so she can't blame me for that. And yeah, we snacked away. She finally cooked me a toasty at like 2 a.m. I think it was. And yeah, and it took about 2 or 3 hours for Dawn and I to go to bed. Ben had gone. I'm not sure what time Ben went. But yes, they're very dancey couple. They're so sweet. They're always dancing and schmoozing around. And it's like the deck and everything's got the Christmas lights are still up. So you sit on the back veranda and there's a little light show out there. He hasn't put the flag up, Dawn.
I know he's not
See the
put the
flag.
flag up. He just rang me, and I told him off.
Yeah.
Are you being attacked by birds at the minute?
No.
Oh, that could be
No,
me at the
not
back.
really.
I think they're in the pear tree.
Oh,
Is it me?
Dawn's cockerel. Yeah, he was dancing and prancing around too. The new rooster that they got. You should see him. He's like an African chieftain. He's got like a feather collar thing, and he like flounces around the yard. All the girls
What is that noise
follow
in
him.
your background?
Rosella's. They're in the pear
That's
tree.
Dawn.
Sorry, I'll mark myself while I'm out back. I'll go on mute.
But yeah, out the front there's just the regular noises.
Does the zoo know that they're supposed to go back?
The what?
The zoo? They sound like a type of bird I would never see in a zoo or an avatar or something.
I know. That's what I always think about, like the first settlers, like when they got here. Imagine like they landed and night comes or dusk, and all the birds start going off. It would have been terrifying. The noises, if you don't know them, they're like just a koala having sex is like you think there's some sort of machine going off in the background.
Bring it straight into the gutter, isn't she? Talking about sex.
No, but
I don't
the
know.
noises that the animals make, they're like, they can be scary if you don't know.
This is after they've got out by the sharks and the saltwater crocodiles.
Yeah, after they make it to the shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's the animals that don't make a noise here that you've got to worry about.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it is it's quite noisy. It's like my backyard. I call it my outdoor symphony. It's just beautiful. Sit there and you've got a it's like an orchestra. It's quite funny too, with the kookaburras and it's nice. And then you have Dawn's new cockerel at whatever time that was. Not long after I'd put my head on the pillow. But yeah. So it's a
Tell everyone what his name is, Linda. Tell everyone what his name is.
Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss?
He's the most stylish
Hugo Boss
cockerel. He's got painted on like eyelashes that look like they've got mascara on them. Yeah, he's a very handsome bird, I must say. And he knows it. So yeah, it's all fun at Dawn's. I have my room at the back. Like, I haven't been here since last year, but my room. I put in, show them. Yeah, beautiful tour of the garden last night when I got here. And Ben's got a pool. Show them the pool. Bloody hell, I've never seen one like it. Yeah, Dawn will show you the pool in a minute. And now, since last night, he's put like a canopy contraption over it because it is going to get hot here. He's like, bloody hell, he's a Superman.
This is this is your summer.
Yeah. So it's cloudy now, but by this afternoon it will be, blazing hot. It was raining a little bit when I got up, but yeah.
There you go.
Dawn's going to give you the garden tour now. I'm going to get out of the shop.
Yeah. Now these
don't want to
noises make
scare
sense.
She's going to show you Hugo Boss. He's amazing.
Isn't he beautiful? Hi, handsome.
She's also got the girls. There's 14. Who else have you got, Dawn?
Yeah. I've got little Miss Blue Pill, little Miss Red Pill, Gertrude, 14, and little Miss White Supremacist. Where is she? Where are you, Supremo? Oh.
They all look the same to me.
Miss Supremacist. I need to get them some food, hang on. I've got food, food. Oh, shut up, you. The other girls are carrying on more than Linda does. Go on, help me where.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure, what's going on for Australia Day as far as in town and stuff. But I know that, on the local council level, even if the federal government, says, oh, yes, we're going to celebrate and put on a few things, at the council level, they do things like not have the citizenship ceremony on Australia Day, and which used to be a tradition, and I don't know, they let the counter protesters take over the streets and shit like that. So I think last year some guy with Australian flags on his hat got harassed by the so-called Invasion Day aficionados. It would have taken them bloody, I don't know how long, with their smoke signals, for them all to know they were invaded. So they should pick another day. Work out how long the smoke signal or the runner thing that they
probably about 11 years.
Yeah. Well, apparently they did have some system. So by the time the message got north, it was, I don't know, something like this. God in a big ship has
So what
angels have come.
what was
I
the
don't know.
message? This thing I've never seen before has arrived with other things I've never seen before. Is that what their message
There was
was?
something about the ships and the sails. Like, yeah.
Would they even have known what they were?
They thought it was a god or a something, but they didn't have it in any prophecies or anything.
No. Well,
it's a difficult question with normies, because it's so easy to guilt people into just to guilt them and to sort of so they dismiss their own glory and their own story. So yeah, it's
there's
that sort of
the thing about it is if the Western people that arrived in Australia had wanted to eradicate the Indigenous people and their culture,
exactly,
they would not.
They
be
would
there.
have, yeah, exactly. And then
it has taken a lot more effort to maintain those people and their culture than it would have been to remove them.
I actually said that to, we're having a conversation about it. I was with a couple of adult family members, and that came up, and I said, well, what would you have preferred? Like, if we were Belgium, however you say that,
yeah,
they'd probably all be gone, and it wouldn't be an issue. But we weren't like that, because there are so many good people that, and now you let our own goodness be to the detriment of the people that you say you want to help.
The other question is how much of the land that you're currently on was inhabited at that time, because I'm going to take a guess at none of it.
Oh no, they every part. There's 500 nations, 500 different language groups. This is why it's because Maoris have one language, so it's very different.
This is why we have things like the Australian Member of Parliament who had us talk about the COVID translated into Aborigine, and it's a free one.
Proper, strong one.
Yeah, proper strong one, and it's a free one because
hilarious.
Yeah, but that was because that's the only bit that all of those different languages could understand. And if you put it into one of their dialects, you'd have an issue with 49 other dialects.
This is the other thing. They have a sort of, they have what's it called? Catherine Pigeon. There's a region, Catherine, up north. And so these kids, on the remote places, so they've got their tribal language, then they all speak the Catherine Pigeon language, and then, but there's no books and stuff written, so they can't even translate from that to English as such, to try and teach them English. So they're already 2 steps behind, because they're hanging on to the tribal stuff for grim death kind of thing. And so it just compounds all the problems. And then you get I swear, on every one of these situations, there's always some goddamn do-gooder that's ready to misappropriate the funds and fuck people over, and
I'm just going to try and get rid of these birds.
She's shooting birds with her Nerf gun.
Not working.
So yeah, it's an ongoing issue. But there's lots of
Oh, they're gone. Oh, good. That's how we get
like
rid of
there's a
birds.
few
We get the
Aboriginal
nurse gone out
leaders
and they fuck off.
are on the
That's
same
amazing.
page. Are you looking at her garden? I'm not looking at the screen. It's bloody amazing, isn't it? See all this decking? Like,
Yep.
she doesn't even have to walk on grass, but until you get all the way over there. It's fucking amazing. Did you show him the pool? Did she show you the pool?
Oh,
I know, look, he put that bloody thing over the top of it this morning at some point. I don't know when. That's why he went to bed early, so he could get up and
yeah.
go shopping.
So
I
you
hope
don't
he
get-
gets our orange juice. Our juice. Dawn wrote a note for him to get orange juice for our, she calls them Bucks Fizz, which is go,
Yeah.
but I call them mimosas because it sounds like it's a health tonic. So it's her birthday, so we're allowed to have
Yes. Oh, you have to.
mimosas. I've had a coffee already. So is she filming me on that thing? She could not be. Yeah. So
The last time I wrote myself a note for what I needed at the shop, I got to the shop and realized I forgot the fucking note.
yeah, I do that all the time. And you see people in there and they pull their phone out with their shopping list on it. And I think, fuck you. Your fucking phones. But then I thought, you know how you can't read anything on the labels? And I'm always like squinting at things. And then I saw someone with their phone like, take a picture or, you know, use a magnifying glass, whatever. And I thought, well, that's handy. I might.
Oh, yes.
So,
I do that all the time.
that's kind of good.
That's how I see ingredients. I use
What's she yelling at me? She's bloody yelling at me from the background. I can't talk to everyone, Dawn. What's Packer doing? I haven't heard him say anything.
Yep.
You still there? Smiley?
I'm still here smiling. Yeah, I haven't done anything, so I ain't got anything to say, but that's not unusual, is it?
So you all had a big storm.
Look,
that's no
she's
good.
not even made,
No, not
made
really.
the bed.
I didn't.
Shocking.
I didn't have a chance yet. I want to get back in it.
Right. We've got a technical question. What do you do whenever you see a huntsman spider?
I get the bug catcher. You know those toys you give kids, and it's got like a green cap on each end and like a bigger end. And yeah, so it's like, you know, when you catch a spider in a container, but you can see it.
Yeah.
But sometimes they bloody stick their legs out and get squashed, and then you have to feel bad. Oh, I caught one once and I chopped 2 of his legs off. And then I left him in the bug catcher for 2 days. I already thought he was angry, so I thought I'd leave him in there for 2 days. And then I finally got my son to take it across the road and over towards the river and let it out near a tree, so it had a half a chance to climb up. But yeah, unless they stick their legs in the way, I'm pretty good at it. But yeah, that's only if you can reach. If they're high, then you've got to. I haven't killed one for a long time. I had a battle with one once, and it was following me down the stairs, and I sprayed it with I think it was deodorant, and it was like all white. I thought, oh, good, it'll be dead. But no, I don't know why I didn't get rid of it. And then I was sitting on the couch like 2 nights later, and it was on the wall behind me, and it jumped on me. So you've got to be careful with them, like as far as
Oh, they'll remember.
you know,
They'll remember you
like
from off.
don't
funniest-
torture them.
Funniest thing is when you get the vacuum cleaner out, you suck them up the vacuum cleaner, but you don't leave it on running long enough, and then it crawls back out of the freaking pipe.
Oh yeah,
Off
you
your
don't want
arms
to do
and
that.
across your back, and then on your head.
I know that bloody one. It jumped fair dinkum off the wall onto my shoulder. Oh, I remember. Yeah, but I got over it because one time I was at my sister-in-law's and there was a spider on the way into the toilet, and I went and woke her up to ask her to move it. And she said, "Fuck off, get over it." So I did. And I walked past it like 3 more times. And yeah, basically since then, I'm better.
Oh, God, I tell you.
What?
Whenever I went to Australia in 2018, and whenever I came back, I was in my bedroom, was emptying my suitcase, and
Oh,
I seen a spider on the floor, and it was 99% sure it was a Belfast spider with really a belly horn. But I jumped up and down on that for about 5 fucking solid minutes, going, "Die, you bastard, die!"
one time we were camping, like up near where I live, and on the last night it was raining, and I woke up and there was a huge, I've never seen such a big spider. It was on the outside of like the fly wire, but inside the fly of the tent. So it was right there. And I said to Rob, my partner at the time, don't pack that spider up in the tent. And he goes, "No, I'll be careful." Anyway, we get home and we had to hang the tent up because it rained. And he's outside. I can see him at the clothesline trying to hang it up. And the spider was in there, and he jumped so high and sort of fell off the retaining wall. And he wouldn't go back to the tent. So yeah, I had to go up there and I shepherded that spider away. But it was huge, so yeah, I had a Warburton spider moved down to the suburbs. There's probably giant mutant bushcraftmen running around the suburbs now.
Did I mention that Linda just doesn't shut up? I think I've told you that, haven't I? I tell you, on and
No,
on.
it's pretty good.
4:30 this morning.
Funny smash that, Linda. Funny smash that. Dom was trying to blame you and being the one that doesn't shut up at the very start of all this. And whenever you weren't, whenever you didn't even have your own thing, she was complaining about how much.
She was bagging me out. I know.
Yeah,
I heard her.
And see from then, I haven't heard her shut up yet.
You cheeky fucker. Anyway,
Dawn's
my
very
birthday. I can
assertive.
talk all I want.
She doesn't let me interrupt. At 4 o'clock in the morning, she's like, "No, we'll get back to that. put a pin in that. We'll get back to that." And she keeps going. Whatever. Ben's quiet sometimes, but he got going a bit too just before he went to bed. That's right. So yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to toddle off, beautiful. So I'll leave you to Hunter. I've got shitloads to do. I've got family coming over in about 4 or 5 hours, and yeah, I've got lots to do. So love to all you beautiful. What?
I'll try and be helpful and not make more work for it. I might go back in that bed. Get some use out of it before I make it. But yeah. So what else is going on in merry old England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland?
Same old. Boss, Dave had to go do Daddy's Taxi and pick up his daughter from probably a nightclub or some madness like that. That's where he's at.
Who did?
Dave Waffle had to go pick up his
Oh,
daughter.
right.
Yep.
He's a good dad, isn't he? They
He
sound
is.
like they get along very well. And
Actually, really lovely
It's
wee
nice.
family.
yeah.
His daughter listens in the shows, and she would come on for a little bit
Oh,
on
that's
her last
cool.
birthday. She come on for a little bit
Is-
on her last birthday, and got Dave skint because everybody was giving her birthday money, and he had the fork of lead. It was great.
Nice. And his
Yeah.
mum was in the chat the other day.
Oh,
So
his mum,
I heard him telling everyone not to swear and what
Yeah.
words not to say.
his mum's in very regularly. She's
Oh, cool.
in and out all the time. They're all on board with it, and just a lovely wee family with a mad brother.
Cool. Yeah, we've all
Yeah,
got
he's
one of
got
them.
his crazy brother can be a little bit very crazy at times, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. With
Yeah.
any sort of luck, Curry's is the Cure's going. Robyn from Curry's and the Cure's going to be coming on
Oh,
soon.
yeah, is she coming in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
I thought, I wasn't sure if she was coming on first or
Yeah,
like second. And then Donnie woke up and made it all happen.
it's all mad.
I'm still drinking my coffee.
Like
I just like it. It's chill. It's nice. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal. I can carry on about spiders or whatever crap. So, yes, I get to meet Dawn's grandchildren today. I was going to go home, but because I thought they were going to be here last night, but we got. Now I've given her a hangover for her birthday. Oh yeah, I've got your present to give you. Yet. I'll do that later. But yeah.
Hangover's a good birthday present.
You got me a present? Where? It's on the it's champagne. No. So we can drink your champagne though. I'll help you. You'll like it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Hopefully. Oh no, she can listen. I was about to tell you what it is, but she's on the thing. So I'll wait. She can tell you next week. But yeah, so I was going to go home. My kids aren't that fussed. Like I asked them, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Because I got 2 younger kids and then I've got 2 adult kids.
Yeah.
So like the older ones will do like interesting stuff, but the younger 2 are more. So yeah, that's a bit weird. The older 2 are very do we say PC now? But yeah, they're very PC. They both have like sort of government allied jobs, and they're not totally compliant, but 90%, I suppose. 90%.
Well, the other thing is that all those NGOs and all those people, they also use the likes of Australia Day as a funding funnel for themselves, because they'll put on something. They'll put on an event that doesn't actually celebrate Australia, but they get to run the event, so they make the money from it.
Yeah, I heard you saying that at the start about that if you want events, you got to run them yourself. That's so true and like I'm sure there's a university course to how to wangle the funding, and they're just the academia everywhere. It's just putrid with bloody.
The interesting thing about the Commonwealth and the fact that Australia gets England's laws and all of that type of thing means that someone like me from Belfast that knows their way around the funding form would be able to replicate that with Australia, because it's going to be the same basic template.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, and they're really good at it. Like when you have to deal with any of the bureaucracies, and like the layers of bullshit that, and it's just designed to confound and addle your brain.
Well,
that was
the
clear.
thing is, they have their own language.
Yes, yep,
And
that's the other thing.
In the same way that all those different Aborigine groups have got their own language, dentists have got their own language, mechanics have got their own language, plumbers have got their own language, bureaucrats have got their own language. And unless you speak to them in their language, they don't understand you. But
yeah, it's true.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to somewhat comply.
Well, no, what you need to do is learn their language and then turn the bastard against them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You've got it.
I'll give you a really good example, and this is a pretty free one. Between the difference between what somebody's saying and what they're meaning. For example, you'll have a company, could be any company, and they'll say the health and safety of our workers is the most important thing in our whole business, and we put health and safety at the top of our agenda every day. And you hear that and you think that's a sign of a company that actually means what they're saying and they're worried about their employees. What that means in reality is whenever they're having their meeting at the start of the day, they go, first item on the agenda, health and safety. Any issues? No. Right, okay. Next, production. And while they have put it in, they've got this thing that they can say, we class it very important because we put it at the top of our agenda. All they've done is fucking scheduled it for 2 seconds at the start of the meeting as opposed to the end. And this is also how all those bureaucrats and all work. And it's a matter of, if you've been in and niggled through their system long enough, you get to figure out the difference between what they're saying officially and what they mean. And also then begin to hold their feet to the fire and say, here, hold on, I've been through your policy. It says this, this, and this, and you aren't adhering to it. Sorry. Right, now I've got the end of that. Sorry, I was very rude. Robyn, Courage is Secure. Big welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming on.
Hi.
Cool.
Thanks for having me. How you going?
How are you, Robyn?
Hi, Linda. How are you? Are you? I'm guessing you're on the East Coast.
Yes. Yep. Over at near the bay, like Dawn's on. What part of the bay? Like
Port Phillip Bay. Yeah.
Port Phillip Bay. Yeah.
Frankston.
So on the sort of south side of Melbourne, the good
Happy
side.
Australia Day.
Yep, and it's Dawn's birthday too. Oh yes, Happy Australia Day. So what time is it in Perth now, or Western Australia?
7:30 now.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. Nice.
That's
See?
That's 7:30 on a Sunday morning.
Even they're behind us.
Good morning, beautiful.
I applaud your commitment, Robyn.
Yeah.
I have to apologise. I had my alarm set for 5 o'clock because your show starts at
I could have rung you when I went to bed.
6:30 a.m. and my alarm went off and I turned it off and I didn't get up. That I never do that. And then I woke up. I just woke up and I'm like, oh no.
Don't worry about it. It's not a problem at all. With
Terrible.
2 other Australians come in, it's all good. And honestly, this is stupid o'clock for you. I really appreciate you taking the time and getting out of your bed at this morning to come and speak to us. So thank you.
No
how's your how's your Australia Day going? But it's only just started.
Well, the day's just started, but my better half has been cooking most of yesterday, preparing for today. So his Australia Day has been very busy already from yesterday.
So do you do like a full Christmas dinner type thing?
On mute.
yeah, kind of. I guess sort of not as elaborate, if you like, but yeah, definitely stuff that my
A special meal.
yeah, it just makes it easier as well, because I think my hubby's planning on having a few drinks, and nobody wants to be slaving in the kitchen when it's 40 degrees when you're drunk, trying to make everybody lunch, you know.
Did I mute it? Or I just turned the volume.
So if it's all prepared, then we're all good.
Yeah. What do you generally do for the day?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. It used to be a day of real celebration in Australia, where people, you know, all the wanky catchphrase terms of, you know, uniting and coming together and celebrating being Australian with your family and friends. Every capital city would have a massive fireworks show. There'd be, you know, hundreds of thousands of people going down to watch that, and, you know, all those sorts of things. But of course, with the ye olde spicy needle situation and locking everybody down, they've acclimatized people to not only stay home, but introduce themes over the past few years that it's far right and close to somebody that used to have a little black mustache to love your country.
A painter? An Austrian painter by chance?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
So now it's now, well, last year a lot of people were even afraid to fly the Australian flag. This year people are so annoyed with the rubbish, especially from the multinational companies who aren't Australian, don't care about the Australian spirit. Of course, you know, it's all part of their agenda to make people, you know, lose their identity. But people have cracked the shits this year. So there's you know, events and stuff happening all around different cities. But I mean, even this year, the Premier of New South Wales cancelled the Australia Day parade because, you know, they just want everybody to be ashamed of being Australian, and, you know, you're not allowed to be patriotic and all those sorts of things. It's all just nuts.
It is. It's the way of the West. It is, it just keeps rumbling forward. There doesn't seem to be any end to it.
Well, you know, sorry to cut you off, 40, but no. I lived in Germany for 6 years and started my family in Germany. So, you know, I saw Germany from many different angles. You know, when I went there, I was not a mother. And then when you become a parent, lots of things change in your life and you get to see the world from a different perspective. And one of the things in Germany, as much as I love Germany and German people, they've indoctrinated the young people to be ashamed of being German, right? And the only time it's okay to fly the German flag is when Germany's playing soccer.
Yep.
You know, that's the only time. Besides that, I mean, there's clips all over YouTube of, you know, Chancellor slapped her with the ugly stick lady.
Yes.
You know, try to give her the German flag and she pushes it away, you know, and because it's shameful. And, you know, I think that's an absolute disgrace. You know, they don't have a Germany Day, all these sorts of things, and it's done on purpose, and they've managed to do that because of, you know, World War II, and, you know, everybody else can use their imagination or their brains. And so I've seen it work. I've seen it work where they indoctrinate the youth to be ashamed of being, you know, whatever it is from their own country, and they're doing it in Australia right now. And a lot of people can't see it. These woke left who suffer with brain rot, you know, they can't see it, and they're telling everyone to be ashamed of themselves. It's just terrible, 40.
Yep. We have in a lot of ways, the beta testing for that was done in Northern Ireland because we've got this divided community, and the British section have been demonised for ever and a day. And from what I can see, all they have done is take the slurs that they throw at the British people in Northern Ireland and do the exact same thing in Australia, albeit on a timeline starting probably 20 years later, because I've relatives that live out in Australia, and they moved out there whenever I was a child, and it was still very much pro Australia Day. This is a great country then, and that all seems to have gone. And I can see the exact same thing. It's happening in Australia. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in England, where everybody's just they're being told they're not allowed to celebrate their own country or culture or anything, and it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, I would say, what my opinion on this is, the only way we get this back is if we run our own celebrations that are not funded by the government, not controlled by the government, and even I think that it starts off in your own houses with friends and family and generally gets bigger, but everybody that's against the new thing needs to drop out of the government. And hold on, Anthony, you can just fuck off. Bye-bye. Sorry. Anthony Johnson, AJ, fuck off again. Thank you. It's absolutely disgusting what they're doing, teaching people to hate themselves. And the only way back is for the people to come together from a broad base that's on the same general direction of we like the country.
That's
right.
You know,
that's and at least start with getting their days back. England don't actually have a day. Well, they do now. England Day is only starting this year because people decided to make it happen. Ulster Day or Northern Ireland Day, it's always been a thing, but it only really got properly celebrated from about 10 years ago. But we already had 2 or 3 other really big celebratory days. And the people have decided we need to bring this one back in as well.
So Germany have Unification Day. You know, not that it's a celebration. It's not even a, you know, like we have Anzac Day here to commemorate, you know, the Anzac soldiers with Australianism. So Germany, they have Unification Day. So it's not a celebration. It's not a day. They don't have any ceremonies or anything like that. The day's just called that. Can't even remember if it's actually a public holiday. But you know, to set, you know, remember the East and the West coming together. In every small village in Germany, they have memorials dedicated to the war, but you would never, ever, ever see anybody go there and put flowers down there or anything like that. That's a big no-no. You know, don't remember the soldiers who fought protected us. You know, so this is my real concern, is because I've lived in Germany and I've seen this, how they do it and how it's so effective on the public. I can see it just.
Did you go to the Brandenburg Gate?
In Berlin?
In Germany, in Berlin?
Yeah.
Right. And then you've also obviously seen the Holocaust Memorial with all the plinths. And don't get me wrong, I think that they've done that really well. But there's also a place for the members of the German army, particularly from World War One, partially from World War Two, of the actual just general soldiers who got conscripted or joined an army because because of where they were born and fought very bravely as soldiers, and that needs. Do I think Germany was the cause of World War II? Yes, I do. But I don't think that they all need demonized the way they currently are.
Yep.
And the other thing is, the German High Command went to NASA. The German High Command went to NATO. The German High Command went all sorts of places. And that's all just brushed under the corner because somehow they got segregated from what the Second World War was and are thought of entirely differently from the rest. And it just seems wrong. If you're someone whose great grandfather happened to be living in Germany at that time and got conscripted in the war, you have those people have nowhere to go with their grief, and that leaves a hole that's never going to be whole. It's similar to when see the plinth, the London, the cenotaph that was only supposed to be there for a year. But what they found was after they built it in World War One, that all the people whose sons were buried in France and Belgium and wherever, they had nowhere to go to grieve, so they all flocked to the cenotaph, and they had to make it permanent and change it from plaster into marble or Portland stone. And Germany's in that exact same position where they have got basically two wars where they lost a hell of a lot of people, and they can't be remembered for anything other than being cunts, and that's wrong because that is not all of them by a long shot.
It's so true. And just to add to that as well, it was really very interesting because you've just talked about, a group of people that have nowhere to go. If you happen to have a family member that was, joined the army in Germany, you've got nowhere to go. Even as an Australian in Germany, there's somewhere for my family to go because both of my grandfathers fought in World War II, but one of them, he was actually he was part of the Lancaster bomber crews, and he was actually captured and kept in a camp in Germany. So, when my parents visited Germany, we drove out because the camp's near the border with Poland.
Yeah, and it's all preserved.
Well, the buildings are all gone, but the foundations are all there, and you can go there, and it's preserved. It's a place for people to go and visit. We drove out there. So it was 3 generations. It was my father, myself, and my small human. We drove out there to, obviously have a look and those sorts of things, but, pay respects to my grandfather, and all those sorts of things. So even in a kind of morbid, upside down way, us Australians have somewhere to go over there to remember our grandpa, albeit, the concentration camp, The other one too is Japan, because I lived in Japan for many years as well, and visited the museum in Hiroshima where the
Yeah.
atomic bomb was dropped. And they've been indoctrinated a different way, because in their textbooks, and let's remember that also education is manipulated. And if anybody isn't aware of that, just go and have a look at the Carnegie Foundation, and your world will open up to you. And what they did in Japan, and they still continue to do, I haven't seen a Japanese textbook for about 10 years, so maybe it's changing, I don't know. But how they've done it there is they literally don't mention any of the things about the Japanese soldiers. Of course, they have the museums there about the atomic bombs, and they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful museums, very sad. But the purpose of those museums is to, spread the message that war is bad and that this should never happen again. And I think everybody around the world can agree with that. That's not a bad message for a museum to be, giving to people. But that's what they do in Japan. So they're very nationalistic. Obviously, they are very proud to be Japanese people. There's no shame about flying the Japanese flag. They're very proud of all of their holidays associated with historical moments in the past. All of that remains intact. But the way that they deal with the war is to not tell the young people about the atrocities from their own soldiers. Where in Germany, they're very quick to tell their young about the atrocity of the Nazis and the SS and gassing the group of people and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a real experiment how they've handled educating the youth after the wars.
Yeah, and it's trying to word this correctly, but I would say the Japanese army has probably got more to be worried about with full transparency than the German. Particularly with their treatment of prisoners of war, particularly with their treatment of any population that they came in contact with. I think it was probably the most harsh regimes that we have seen since biblical times. We didn't have the. I can't remember where it was, but there was pre-time of Jesus Christ. There was a conquered army that got sent home with every man blind, apart from one man that had one eye at the top of a column of 100, and they just sent them back and left them to fend their way back because they were then useless as warriors. But incredibly harsh. The Japanese didn't quite get to that, but they were bloody close.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, any Japanese child born now, that's nothing to do with them. I don't think we need to blame every Japanese person for that now.
No.
But a bit of honesty wouldn't go amiss, but don't overdo it.
I see everything as an experiment. They had so many different countries involved in the war, and they do this with everything that happens. I've got my tinfoil hat on now, my tinfoil suit. So many different countries involved in the war, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they had some wanky think tank, a bunch of arseholes that sat around in some room, way before probably even the war started, and thought, right, how are we going to do this? And they also plan the aftermath. And what's that saying? Every tragedy is an opportunity, or something like that. Something disgusting. And they would have been thinking, all right, how can we take advantage of the aftermath of the war? what kind of experiments can we do on the people to see how we can reach a particular outcome, and we'll do it one way in this country and we'll do it another way in that country, and then we'll see which one works, because then whichever one's more successful, we can replicate it again in the future when something else awful across the world happens and we want to turn something into another opportunity for everybody. So I'm sure even just the aftermath of the war and indoctrinating the youth, and
they started that during the war, because Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the only two cities in Japan that had not been bombed before they got the big ones. They intentionally went this city and this city. I think there's possibly another one or two that was waiting in the wings that were left totally intact from all the other bombing raids, because they wanted to be able to measure exactly what happened.
Yeah,
everything's an experiment, and we let people in the positions of power that want to run the weirdest, fucking strangest experiments. And nobody's thinking about everything's, can we do this? Could we do this? Could we get away with this? They're never thinking should we do this, because there's a lot of things going on that just should not be done.
That's right.
The other thing, we've lost a lot of civics, and I believe it started with whenever we lost the churches. I think the churches in the Western world have, particularly any British or Commonwealth country, the churches have a purpose, in that they're supposed to be, we have a state religion officially, and that's supposed to be the moral conscience of the king and queen. However, we stopped going to the churches in any large numbers, which meant that we left a very small congregation of people who were very woke, and they then selected their ministers at the bottom end who were all woke and fed them into the system, which means that you now have people at the top end, the Archbishop of Canterbury and stuff, who are supposed to use their soft power with the king and queen and say, here, this is going bad, this is wrong, and we need to change that. But we no longer have, because 50 years ago, everybody at the bottom line of the church had the same thought, and that they wanted the country to do well, and now they don't. So we're losing that moral power and the soft power with the ability of the churches to talk to government, particularly with things like where we've brought in all these multi-faith churches and all services for state events. That is pure wrong. The Church of England, which then would be like, I'm not sure if Australia has the equivalent Church of Australia, but they should be sitting down and going, no, here, we run this, you go do something else, and kept it pure. And we've done the same with all our institutions. We have allowed people that are not like us to get in and run them, and they're the ones that are pushing all the levers of power, and we can't change it until we take those back.
One thing I find interesting about churches, there's been a phenomenal amount of churches recently since 2020, 2021 that have burnt down in Canada.
Yes.
And people will say that it's because of the for another reason, which I think is absolute bullshit. I think it's for the very reason that you've just talked about there.
Yes, that's exactly it. Because we've spent so long demonizing the churches, and the churches are the last place that we have left that white working class patriotic people can
Yeah.
actually legally gather.
That's right.
It's a one. Yep. France, loads of churches going getting burnt in France. And by the way, in Northern Ireland, we have things called Orange Halls, where the local Orange Order would meet, and that's a political and religious organisation, and they get graffiti burnt on a very regular basis. Like, you're probably talking 1 a month, every month, never gets reported, doesn't get put together, but it's a similar. You only got to realize that all of the terrorist groups all work together. They are all interlinked, all of them, and the fund. You can't fund the IRA without funding the PLO and without funding. Used to be Black September, but they're gone, and all those other groups that are like the Basque separatists are gone now. They've folded, apparently, allegedly, but they all share funds. They all share. They all trade drugs with each other. They all trade weapons with each other. It's all one big game. And once you put money into one, you're funding them all. You're funding Iraq. You're funding Iran. A lot of times you're funding two sides of the same fucking conflict. Well, our governments do that all the time. Our governments fund both sides of the Middle East, the extreme. Right? And at some stage, there has to be a decision made. Actually, no, pull all that shit out and just let's concentrate on our country and getting it better for us. That's where we need to be.
Well,
Australia needs to be for Australians. England needs to be for English people. Germany needs to be for German people. France needs to be for French people. Holland needs to be for Dutch people.
That's right.
Until we what's unique about Great Britain and also Australia is that our borders have been set from England's borders have been set since 1066. Australia's borders have been set since we turned up. Right across Europe.
Yeah.
Right across Europe. How many times has Germany changed its name? Bavaria, different regions. How many times have all those lines in Central Europe moved? If you look at the European Championships in 2020, you've got countries that didn't exist in 1980. You have a whole load of new countries. All these countries are used with having changing borders, changing boundaries, changing rulers. But England, British Isles, and Australia, and Canada, and America are quite unique in that their borders have been set and solid. Therefore, their people have been unified and came through all of the struggles. And now they're being lectured on how to live with one another by fucking Europeans that have only been in a country for a bastard week.
Yep.
And they don't understand why we can point to that and go, here, this will not work. We know we've tried it. It doesn't work. This is what does work. We've done the tooth and pains, and somehow we elect people that have no connection to their communities and don't get any of that because they're professional politicians. And quite frankly, most of them don't even care what party they get to. You know, they go to university, they do a degree in politics or political studies or whatever it is, and then they go looking for a party. And if they can't get into the one that they really want, they'll go to somewhere else. Or they'll go to an NGO. They'll go to an LGBTQAI NGO, work there for a number of years, and then get a job in climate and just transfer over with that same thing. And there are none of those jobs for people that represent us. So you've got all these people that are coming out of training every year, and we're inventing NGOs just to give them fucking jobs. The shit on us, and it's really not a good idea. My opinions on Oliver Cromwell, fucking cracking, man. He best king of England that we never had. For those of you that don't know, in 1641 there was an event called the Massacre of the Protestants, where Protestants in Ulster were driven into rivers and lakes, and the water turned red, discriminated not by man, woman, or child. The year after that, we had the English Civil War started. That was the prelude for it. Cromwell not only won the Civil War, but also then came over to Ireland and rescued the people here, the British people here, who were still being starved to death 10 years fucking later. Cromwell did a really good thing. I'll tell you what. As for Cromwell letting the Jews back in, I think you'll find whenever Cromwell left power, and with the Bill of Rights that came after that, you were not allowed to get a job in power in England unless you were a white English Protestant. You want to be a Prime Minister? White English Protestant. You want to be above a certain rank in the army? White English Protestant. You want to be a front branch MP? White English Protestant. We allowed pretty much anybody to live in the country, trade, we didn't discriminate against them, apart from you were not allowed to run shit. Because we found that allowing people who don't like us to run things is a really bad idea.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and also
imagine that.
Yeah. Oh, particularly those who have got a trait of persecuting their political opponents and burning them at the stake. We said no. If that's the type of thing you like to do, you're no longer allowed to be in power. That held from 1688 through to round about 1800. And you'll find that in between that, we had an industrial revolution and were absolutely fucking outstanding. And it was from round about 1830 where those other people other than white English Protestants were allowed to have positions of power. The things gradually started turning to shit and worked on a zombie until about 1980, whenever Tony Blair changed the whole fucking system. There's your civics lesson for the day.
We've had it started back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So we have an infamous politician here in Australia, Miss Pauline Hanson. She's the leader of the One Nation Party, which has existed ever since I was a small person.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of people claim that she's racist. I'm not saying either way that she is or she isn't. That's just, the narrative that's pushed out there by corporate media. Anyway, so back in 2022, another one of our senators, Senator Faruqi, I guess you can probably, anyway, she's not born in Australia. But anyway, so back in 2022, the Queen died, right? Remember the Queen? She died. And Senator Faruqi said, I haven't got the exact quote in front of me. She said that she feels sorry for the people who are mourning the Queen's death, but she's not going to kind of honor or commemorate or anything like that, a person that's part of, colonialism and that kind of jazz, right? That's what she said on Twitter. And so Senator Pauline Hanson said, well, and this is not verbatim either, I'm just Senator Hanson said, well, you know, you seem to have done pretty well when you came to Australia because you've got nice houses, you've got a job in Parliament, you know, all these other things. If you don't like it, then piss off back to Pakistan, right? And so last year, obviously they'd been going through court, and Senator Faruqi had taken Senator Hanson to court for racial discrimination and vilification, saying, piss off, go back to Pakistan. And so lo and behold, last year, Senator Hanson was found guilty of racial discrimination.
What?
Yeah. For saying, you know, responding to her tweet, Faruqi's tweet, talking about, you know, she's not going to feel sorry for anybody because the Queen's, you know, a colonialist, you know, basically. Anyway, so I thought that was quite astounding because, you know, that really signifies, you know, not only do we have a number of people now that have all sorts of agendas about.
How did that not come under parliamentary privilege?
Well, because they had that exchange amongst them on X, I suppose.
Right. So it wasn't inside the house.
No.
Right.
No. I can see a couple of people here from Australia. 40, nice to see you, Mark. Mm-hmm. So two things there. I mean, you know, we now have people in Australian government and places of power, perceived power, that weren't born in Australia. Now, you know, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm certainly not a fucking racist either. But you know, just your story there about, well, history.
Yeah.
Factual history lesson there about Cromwell. I think that's very interesting when you look at the governments around the world.
Oh, here, Robyn, whatever you do not dig out a list. Do not dig out the English Bill of Rights, upon which your Australian Constitution is based, because it being a Commonwealth country, we took the English Bill of Rights and passed it out along everywhere that we went. Right? Because me in Northern Ireland, I'm under the English Bill of Rights. Now, that was passed into law. It's never been properly repealed, but large chunks of it are ignored. Also, not long after that, we passed a bill where you were allowed to publish without a license. So you no longer need to appeal to the king for a license to write whatever book you want. And also to state that which is repugnant to the government. These are all laws that we're supposed to have. Now, Pauline Hanson may well be in a position to say she wants that taken to see whether or not that conviction is constitutional, because I would say it breaches your constitution in your country. And it is going to take some people to start bringing these things out and challenging legally at that end. I don't, unfortunately, how this normally works, how this works for the left is they get barristers that will take cases pro bono until the point where they can get legal aid for it, and then they claim the money back off the government.
Yep.
What we have not put people like us in the barrister school to create political judges, barristers, all that sort of thing, but we need them, and it's the only way. We're going to have to go. We're going to have to take them on in the bureaucracy of it and start twisting it back against them. At the minute, although I can see a lot of people fighting, it's, I don't know, it needs joined up or something. Does that make sense to you?
100%. And I think the past 5 years has really shown me, anyway, that obviously the judiciary, but also the pool of lawyers and barristers that we have in Australia, law firms, they are either co-opted or, victims of fear, just like the population, because you can see in Australia the way that people were treated brutally by police, by their employers. Let's not forget our employers tried to murder us.
Yes.
And trying to get a lawyer, barrister to fight for you in Australia, as a result of the past 5 years, it's very hard. There's few and far between that are actually, got the testicular fortitude to take on those cases. Every state in Australia is different. Queensland has recognised some things go against human rights. Western Australia is a bunch of bullshit. Nobody has won anything. Everyone's still paying their fines, whereas in New South Wales, people were paid back their fines. But you can see that, unless it's same with medical professionals, everyone, unless we get some people with a testicular fortitude, the lawyers, barristers, somewhere in the judiciary that are going to stand up and do the right bloody thing instead of being co-opted by the government. There's 3-letter agencies and the people, because let's not forget, a lot of these lawyers, they get their work from the government. 50% of them get paid from the government. So you think they're going to bring a case that goes against them? So we really need something huge to happen there. And
the other thing that happens is you go to university for 4 years to be a lawyer, and then whenever you finish that, you're going into a firm, and the first thing that happens is some fucking university graduate that's just graduated gets to teach you all about diversity and equity and inclusion and LGBT, because you obviously didn't learn anything about the law, and then they change how all the laws are supposed to be interpreted in those classes between law school and actually doing practice. Whenever Trump did away with all of that in America, like there's the amount of people that have no job to go to because it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
it is. It is absolutely beautiful. So I'm supposed to be going to teach these lawyers and politicians how to be inclusive, and I'm not getting paid for it anymore. And I'm thinking, fucking great.
Good stuff. I mean, I can't imagine. Well, isn't it astounding that there's so many different jobs where people are paid to disseminate their mind virus amongst the public, and it's just wonderful to see the wheels falling off that bus and combusting into flames. I very much enjoyed witnessing that over the past few days. It's kind of like the corporate media, the wheels of the bus have fallen off that and are, screaming down the highway on flames. I love watching that. And this is the corporate media ones are a really long bus ride, which I'm really enjoying. But yeah, the DEI ones and the learning about inclusivity and all that sort of bullshit, these people, and they, the really funny thing is they actually take themselves seriously, like they actually had something meaningful to teach people to improve their job and their outcomes. They actually think that it has real value.
Oh fuck! It beggars belief, and the other thing that happened in America from Trump arrived is the amount of illegals that have been deported who were also criminals, because those people turned up at work in the morning and were told you're allowed to do your job now. There's no impediments, and within 38 hours they have 4,500 people fucking back in Mexico because they knew exactly where they were. You know, they were just waiting to pounce, and Trump said, right, go, and off they went. And it shows you that the problem of deporting people isn't the legal system. The problem is your own system in your own country, making sure that it doesn't happen. Once Trump took that away, the deportations started, and it's obviously the same in the UK, it's the same in Australia, it's the same in Canada. The reason why these people are being treated the way they are is because that's how the powers that be want them treated.
Yep.
And it's almost like a fucking coffee table where they're actually taking the piss. Oh, you missed that. Have you seen the Magic Coffee Table video?
No.
This is a bit of classic Australian art. This is I'll play this. The Magic Coffee Table video. Cleans itself. We get this up now. I played this at the start. We might as well do it again. Magic Coffee Table. There you are.
It's not sounds like an Enid Blyton book, 40. It's not that
Oh,
one.
no. It's actually better than that. Right. Here we go. StreamYard. Present. Sure.
Magic Coffee Table.
Remember,
What? I just wish you'd take some initiative and cook your own dinner for once. I've been at work too, you know, and now I get to come home and pack the dishwasher and then unpack the dishwasher and cook dinner and put the washing on. And you know what? I can't continue to live like this because it's not me.
relax. It's going to be all right.
How?
Here, I'll just show you. Okay, I've been doing this since you moved in. See this basket thing? I don't know how it happens, if it's the house or what, but any dirty clothes you put in this basket, somehow the next day they're just clean, folded, and in a perfect pile on your bed.
You're not serious.
I couldn't believe it at first either. But that's why I didn't tell you. I didn't want to jinx it.
You are insane.
Try it, you'll see. Unless it's only chosen me. See, I don't know.
I can't do this.
No, wait. There's other things too. Plates, cutlery, pizza boxes, dirty tissues, anything you leave on this coffee table just vanishes overnight. I mean, sometimes I'll see how far I can push this thing and I'll just leave shit everywhere. And then sure enough, next day, it's all gone. It's just vanished. It's magic. No, she wouldn't have left me. This is what I think happened. I heard her get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something. She must have fallen onto the magic coffee table and just vanished.
Are you insane?
No, he's not insane. I've got the same coffee table at home.
There we go. A bit of Australian art. But I honestly think that the powers that be or something like that, they think, they're just taking the piss at this stage. And they're seeing how far they can push it. And what we need to not do is fall into a mistake and take to the streets and rip things up, because they will be very, very happy to give us draconian sentences for any of that shit. And we need to be clever and make our complaints known in the correct way through all the government processes that are there, because it's a really big bureaucracy. There's only a certain amount of civil servants, and if we put enough information into the system, we can fucking break it. It's
Yeah.
I've actually got something to add on that note, believe it or not. I'm still here. In the United Kingdom or in England, they're changing councils. They're grouping them together and rearranging things and installing mayors or something. So bear that in mind when it comes to voting your mayor.
Oh.
Look at who you can vote for.
I was just funny you should say that, Packer, because I was just going to talk about councils myself. We have councils and shires and mayors and councillors here in Australia, and there's a burgeoning movement since October of 2024 in regards to contamination of our DNA because of some sort of awful products.
Right.
This movement was started in a council by two councillors in the north of Western Australia in a town called Port Hedland. And Port Hedland is one of the economic powerhouses of Australia. Anyway, and so they got a couple of motions through that demanded the products to be halted immediately. That also letters were to be sent to every single council around Australia with the data to alert them all, that the data be sent to all of the medical practitioners within the town of Port Hedland, and that the contamination be investigated independently immediately as well, and a couple of other things, right? So this has started a movement because, you know, our leaders aren't paying attention to us. Our medical professionals have been gagged by the medical authority here in Australia, so they're too afraid to talk. We've just talked about our judiciary and the lawyers don't have testicular fortitude. And so this wonderful group of people in the town of Port Hedland went around the other way and started a movement within the local councils. It's grassroots, it's local government level, and now it's spread across Australia like a
plague.
Bushfire. And councillors of other councils and ratepayers and councils are putting these motions forward as well. But my point being is that you know, our leaders aren't paying attention to us. Everybody else I just mentioned aren't paying attention to us. And you know, I don't like Labor or Liberal, two cheeks, same ass. They're bought, paid and sold. They all have, you know, WEF agendas, all the rest of it, on and on and on. But unfortunately, we do have a system within which we live, which does impact our daily life. And in particular, it's our councils, because, you know, not only are they supposed to be responsible for rates, rubbish and roads, they actually insert themselves in our lives, just like they did when they had spicy needle clinics in every shire, where you could just lob up there, get a free hot dog, and, you know, Bob's your uncle, provided to you by your council. Well, now people are taking that same kind of idea, you know, with your local council, with getting them to pay attention to what's happened over the past 5 years, doing some investigative work, and possibly holding people accountable and stopping the spread of, you know, these awful, terrible products. So our local councils, as much as I hate, you know, the big major parties, completely useless. They're selected, not elected. When you're talking about local government, I do have hope there. And yes, you should be looking at who you can vote for as far as councils, who you can vote for as far as mayors, because if you can get enough freedom people in there, you know, that's where you really start to see things beneficial to caring about humanity at a local level, instead of just seeing these typical woke potential career politicians, who want to get in there to have it on their portfolio because they want to be, part of a major party. So I'd encourage people to pay attention to what they're doing in their councils,
Yep. And your local council are the most accessible politicians you're going to have, because they will live in your local community.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen a wall that can stand up after the bottom bricks have been kicked out?
No.
We only need to kick out the bottom bricks of the wall.
I love that.
That's you're looking at the wall of bureaucracy and control and authoritarianism. It's fucking massive. It's like Troy. But if we can kick out the bottom bricks, it all falls down. And the other thing is, once you get above your local council, you're definitely in the professional politicians. These aren't the people that the likes of you and I at the local pub or whatever found somebody, you're good at speaking for us, go you do that, and you push them into it. But if we can feed enough normal, sensible people into the bottom end of that, they will end up with no option but for those to be the ones that rise up. And because you do it at the one time in a rush, so you're not sending people in individually on their own, you're also changing the conversation. The other thing I would say is what everybody needs to do with their local councillors and with all that stuff is you find out what church they go to, you find out what school their kids go to, you find out, and I'm not talking about harassing anybody.
No.
I'm saying, but if you happen to be at the same church as one of those people, there's nothing wrong with at the end of the service walking over and very politely saying, "Hello, sir, I am blah, blah. I live in blah, blah. I am your constituent. I'm a bit concerned about the gutter in the area," or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And put that point across as a normal human person that he meets in his social, he or she meets in their normal social interaction. Same with all of this stuff. On the blueprint of this system, our local and even national politicians come back to the communities to judge the best cow show and the bouncing baby. None of that's because these politicians are good at judging cows or bonny babies or whatever. It's so as that politician is tied to that community and needs to be welcomed whenever they come back. We've lost that, and instead our politicians have their days out with the LGBT, with Extinction Rebellion, with whatever celebrity fucking cause it is this month, and they go around that junta instead of ours. And that's one of the things that we need to reverse. To actually get a hold of these people and go, no, fuck, you're there to represent us. We're your community.
That's right. I think that's a really good point. You said find out what church or school they go to go and talk to them, because I'm currently I have a morning show called Rise, and with its new series, and within that new series is a smaller series that I've just started interviewing the independent politicians and candidates, because we have our state election, the WA state election coming up this year, plus federal, plus local in WA. But anyway, the state election coming up very soon, and we have a phenomenal amount of independents that are running. And the really important thing for me that I tried to get across in my latest episode with the Honourable Sophia Mamon, she's already a sitting member in the upper house.
Has anybody, sorry to interrupt, but has anybody attempted to take your whole election system to court as being illegal?
Sorry?
Your election your electoral system is technically illegal.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's talking about it.
Because you have a system where you're compelled to vote for people.
Oh, yes.
Right. See, where that should stop is, can they compel you to exercise your right and vote? Yes. But they should not be allowed to compel you to vote for everyone on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your problem is, because you cannot get it. For those of you who don't know, Australia run a very strange electoral system. It's called a single transferable vote, whereby you put all the candidates' name on the ballot, and the person goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order of preference. Now, we have the same system in Northern Ireland. It's flawed, it's illegal, it shouldn't be used. However, we're allowed to stop at whatever number we want. So we can put just a number 1 and leave it at that. In Australia, they are forced to vote for every candidate, which means that there is no possible way for an independent to win, because every vote, whenever it gets knocked out, gets transferred on to the next person, and the bigger parties cannot lose. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of which large party, not a large party, and that is illegal. It violates the human rights, the international compact on human rights. You shouldn't be compelled that. But sorry for the interruption. But
no, that's okay. Yeah. So just Spanish chicken. Yes, I can see the chat. No, I'm not on the White Rabbit podcast. We've never actually contacted each other. So, but anyway, maybe you can give Nicola a message. So we have you can vote above the line or below the line. So if you vote above the line, you just have to number, how many it's usually 1 to 8 or whatever. And but then if you really want to vote for, if I wanted to vote for only independents and not any of the other, cheeks of the same bum, you can vote below the line, and then you have to vote. You're forced, like you're saying, to vote. There could be 50 people there, right? We don't know how many names there's going to be at this stage. Even yet, we don't know. There could be 50 names there, and you've got to number every box. Otherwise, your vote doesn't count, right? So the people don't do that because it takes time and people lose track, all of that stuff. But we are compelled, we are forced to do that. One of the things I wanted to focus on with my interview with Sophia Mamond was that, she is a sitting independent at the moment. She has been since 2021. She's decided to run again. And there's all sorts of rules attached to that now for independence, which wasn't in existence before the Spice and Needle War, which is funny. But anyway, and so, we've got our premier out there at the moment, Mr. Roger Crook, doing his photo opportunities and making all of these, election promises. If he's re-elected, he'll do this, do that, all this sort of nonsense. And the thing with the independents is similar to the councils. The independents can't make promises like that. They can't make promises about housing. They can't make promises about public transport, and all these sorts of things to get people to vote for them. The reason why I'm interviewing these people is because, just like the councillors, when you go to the church that they attend and you have a conversation with them afterwards, when you have fellowship after the service or whatever, and you talk to them, you're able to see if those councillors have the same values, family values, moral compass as you do. And it's the same with the independents for, state election, or it might be federal as well, further down the track this year. If you can talk to those people and you find that they have similar morals, values and moral compass to you, even though they can't do anything policy-wise, they can't promise anything. If you identify with them, then we know, part of that foundation of that wall you were talking about, we've got people in there that agree with us or have similar thinking about, the woke agenda, about the LGBTQA plus brain rot infecting our children's mind, all those things that we talk about. We need to be able to have those politicians in there, the independents in there, that have the same moral compass as us. Because unless we start there, because people talk about infiltrating the larger parties and doing it from the inside. I mean, I don't see that happening at all. I think it's really important that we do have the independents and the councillors and all that in there at the bottom level that have the same moral compass as us.
Yeah, that trying to take over one of the larger parties, that's simply just not going to happen.
No, I don't think. No. I've heard people talk about that for hours on end. I'm just like, nah, that's not happening. No, sorry.
Sorry, I was looking at something. I was trying to find a Australian video there, but I couldn't. So it's right. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Robyn?
Oh, I can talk about a million things.
Give us something interesting from down under.
Well, I guess because it is Australia Day. I'd just encourage everybody, because it's still morning, Australia Day morning here, and I know there's a couple of Aussies watching. Let's continue like we have over the past 5 years to not comply, because, when I first joined you today, 40, we were talking about Australians, this ideology being introduced, this ideological subversion being introduced into Australia, that we should be ashamed of ourselves and not proud of being Australian. I would tell everybody to continue to not comply. Do not comply with these reprobates' ideas about how we should view ourselves. We should be proud. We should be proud of our history, and we should be proud of our future, because our children and our grandchildren, little small humans we haven't even met yet, we need to stay proud so that their future, they can be proud of their future as well. So everybody, all the Aussies that are here in the morning, make sure you go out there. Do not comply with the dumb government, terrible people narrative, and be proud of being Australian. And get your Aussie flag out, pop it on your car like we used to do years ago, and crack open a tinny and give everybody a good solid hug like we used to on Australia Day, and tell the government to go ram it.
Excellent. You should clip that. That was a very nice one. Oh, have you heard my latest song?
No.
Oh, right. Check us out. This is called The Anglo-Saxon. Here we go. Hello, you're listening to 42's letter to the Anglo-Saxons. When you spread this message, you are the resistance. The Anglo-Saxon. The Anglo-Saxon shook his head sharply, his hair dislodging droplets of sweat from the back of his neck, the produce of moving a carcass to the workbench. The sharpened blades and cleavers felt natural in his hand. The carcass divided to his will. The Anglo-Saxon's muscle memory was that of a warrior. His body was lost to the toil, but his mind wandered to memories that were not his own. An intruder startled the Anglo-Saxon. However, before him was not the meadows and glades of his ancestors, but a butcher's shop window. While politely serving the customer, the Anglo-Saxon mourned the loss of a kingdom he had never known, of the rituals and customs that were lost long before his grandparents were even born. Outside, the street was a bustle. He knew there were others like him, ones who carried the warrior's pride. Amongst them he would find the rightful place of an Anglo-Saxon. The Anglo-Saxon.
It was not preached to the crowd, it was not taught by the state. No man spoke it aloud when the Anglo-Saxons began to hate. It was not suddenly bred, it will not swiftly abate. Through the chill years ahead, when the time shall count from the date that the Anglo-Saxons began to hate. When time shall count from the date the Anglo-Saxons began to hate.
Game over.
Hold on. Remove. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. Al Mac did all the music. The same guy did the other ones. And then Emma G, my partner, that's her doing the coupling bit at the end.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
Yes.
Especially the your lyrics there about muscle memory. I think that's very interesting, and also muscle memory, and it led me on to think about water having memory. Of course, our bodies are made up of water. Yeah, very, very thought-provoking words there, 40. That was great.
The only thing separating you from the people that arrived on that first ship, or possibly the second or third, is ancestors, generations. You're the same people. And whenever you have a look at what they made in a very inhospitable climate, shows you the level of skill, fortitude, and resilience those people have. And I refuse to believe it's not still there.
Yeah. 100%.
You know? And I do see, I think we've finally got the stage where we've had enough. And I also think that Gen X needs to step up and start doing Gen X stuff and stop bragging about fucking growing up drinking water from outside taps and being on the streets all day, and do Gen X shit and fix this.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
What we need to deliver for our children and our grandchildren is the childhood that we had. It's it actually is that simple. What we want, we want our grandchildren to have the same childhood we had.
Yep. And I think, because essentially that's my generation that needs to pull its finger out and start doing something.
Yeah.
And, just having a look at, we've just been talking about councils and stuff, because I've been covering all the councils that have been doing this work in regards to the contamination that I mentioned before. And so I've been seeing the makeup of these councils, and you can see that it's usually the makeup of the council of the Shire is, Nana and Grandpa or just about to retire aged people, or the indoctrinated early 20s, mid 20s people that are starting their political career, these career politicians. So they're part of a council. There's very few that are my age that are there, because I think there's probably a whole gamut of different reasons why. But you're right. It's my generation that needs to pull their finger. We're sitting there and reminisce, and there's those memes there, exactly like you're talking about. About drinking out of a hose, and we didn't go home until the street lights came on, and all this sort of stuff. Reminisce about it. But if you do want your kids to or grandkids to have that life, we do have to do something about it. I think people have become disillusioned because we're the generation that's walked through the kind of bliss that everybody was living in with no idea what was going on, and we lived through that transition, and some of us actually saw one of the veils be lifted where we could see all the bullshit. And I think that's made a lot of people very disillusioned, and that defeatist attitude of, oh, what can I do? I'm only one person. But unless every single person does something who knows better now, it'll just continue. So yeah.
To everyone that says, "What can I do? I'm just one person," I will tell you that the only way this wall comes down is whenever it gets hit from a million different ways, in a million seemingly unconnected ways, and everybody doing their own individual bit. You're not just you, there are other people doing similar stuff, and you're making a difference.
That's right. Yep. So yeah, it's I think they really, talking about experiments, all those sorts of things. So many things are manufactured, not only now, let's remember, with feminism and all this bullshit, it's my generation that, now doesn't have a mother at home. Both parents have to go, they're forced to go out and work to pay for the mortgage, to be enslaved, while their children are being indoctrinated in these childcare centres, jabbed up to the eyeballs in Australia, because you can't send your child to daycare or kindergarten without jabbing them. All these sorts of
Even
things.
the kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The government makes you sacrifice your children. If you want to send them to daycare or kindergarten because you've got to go to work, they have to be vaccinated, right? It's disgusting. So anyway, so the family unit are under attack in so many different ways. And for anybody that is aware of this and actually wants to be active in improving the future, from every which way you look at it, the government has engineered it so that it's so difficult for people to stand up and say no. And even if you don't want to comply in just one way or whatever, they make it so difficult for people. So anybody that's doing anything at all, I applaud you for doing that, because us Australians are under attack from every which way you can look at, and especially my generation, because they don't want us to stand up. Let's remember that. That's why it's engineered as it is, because they don't want us standing up. They want their nefarious little disgusting revolting plans to continue. So whatever it is you might be able to do, don't give up, and don't give into that attitude, I'm only one person, what can I do? Because that's what they want. You gotta stay positive. You gotta keep doing all those things, don't you?
Yep.
Tell them to rack off, Brad. Yeah, tell them to rack off. That's right. That's a good one.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm thinking about wrapping this up kind of shortly. Well, Packer, have you anything? Or does he fell asleep? Packer's fell asleep. He's the best co-host in the world. He never interrupts. Let's see, and outro. I'm gonna rack up an outro and put up the things on the screen. I think we'll do. What we'll do? We're doing a song, obviously. We'll do "Eat the Bugs."
Awesome.
Yes, we'll do "Eat the Bugs."
I've been playing your music on my show.
Thank you. Oh shit, man. Eat the bugs? You got me wrong. You got me so wrong. You ever seen a cave drawing of somebody with a spear hunting a mosquito? Well, me either. We eat meat and we have choices. You cook the hedgehog right? It tastes like chicken. Fucking chicken. I ain't eating your bugs. I ain't eating your bugs. I started off with nothing and I'm never going back. I'm not getting on your progressive track. With Agenda 2030 I refuse to engage. I can see where it is going and it's just another cage. I've got hedgehog, I've got rabbit, I've got wild hog. Fuck it, I could even move to Alaska and get me a nice caribou. Fuck it, I'm not eating your bugs. You're trying to take away what I fought so hard to get, so I'm going to say no to your cattle country. Eat the bugs? Live in some communal pod with no fucking privacy? Oh, nothing and be happy? I've seen the people with nothing and they don't look happy. Eat the bugs? Live in some communal pod with no fucking privacy? Oh, nothing and be happy? I'm not eating your bugs. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not eating your bugs. Fuck it. I'm not eating your bugs. Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh shit, man. You got me wrong. You got me so fucking wrong. There are millions of us in the UK, billions worldwide, unvaccinated, striding out into our third winter of death with not a care in the world. Eating pig, eating cow, eating chicken, and we will not conform. Fuck it, I'm not eating your bugs. Hey, Klaus Schwab, this is 42, and I want the word with you, motherfucker.
Fourth Industrial Revolution. We have a window of opportunity for the great reset. Technology is a critical weapon. History is truly at a turning point. We can shape a better world, and we will reglobalize to make it a better place. So will all and so will be and so will eat the bugs.
Why we got me talking? Why is United Nations in charge of Stonehenge? Keeping me away from the stones? That's not world heritage, that's British heritage. You're getting to a point where the people just want to be left alone and going to get involved. Tell me again, why is United Nations running Stonehenge? Fuck it. Stonehenge museum's a fucking Paring Mountain Range now owned by UNESCO, so you and I can never go. Fuck your 15-minute cities and your Internet of Things. We are going back to nature, see what that life brings. We had a good look at the darling new day, so we hook up with the Woodlander and take our shit off grid. Fuck it. We'll be
This is 42 speaking. Welcome to the Resistance.
Fuck it. There we go. I've been Robyn's been Robyn, Packet's been Packet. I've been 42. You lot in the chat have as always been fucking amazing. Thank you. Good night. God bless. And please remember this. We celebrate our country. We celebrate our culture. We do it every year. And the main reason why we do it is so that that right does not get taken away for our children, because it's impossible, because it's ingrained in society. Okay, I'm out of here. Good night. God bless.
Bye. Happy